Hello students, welcome to the science online class. In this class, we are going to learn a new lesson. What is that lesson name? The lesson name is safety and first aid. Safety is very important for us. We should follow safety rules in our day-to-day life to avoid accidents. These accidents are unwanted. Do we want this? No. These are unwanted and they may happen advertently, but still we should be careful in our day-to-day life activities. Okay? So, now in this class we will see some, first of all, safety from the fire and how to take the first aid, otherwise how to give first aid to the injured persons, we will see in this class. So, now let us see the first one, that is safety from fire. So, you may are very interested in entering into the kitchen, assisting your mother, yes, and you may have played so many times maybe with matchboxes, yes, but while handling with the matchboxes, firecrackers, we should be very careful. Why we should be very careful? Because they may cause fire accidents in our house. So, while handling with the firecrackers, because as we are very close to Dasara festival, so be careful while firing the crackers. So, now what are the precautions or safety rules that we should follow in our day-to-day life? Let us see the first one. In that first one, let us see what is the reason that these accidents happen in our life. The main reason is that carelessness. What is that? Carelessness. We may be careful in some situations and due to that these accidents may happen in our life. So, that is why we should be careful in our every activity. So, now let us see another one, how these fire accidents can happen. The first one, as I said, firecrackers or gas leakage also. How? Gas leakage. So, these may happen the fire accidents, and if this fire accident happens, what should we do in such case? We can do that, first of all, we should inform the fire station. When we inform to the fire station, then firefighters they come and rescue the home. So, and not only that, we should have at least 1 or 2 fire extinguishers with us. With that, we can put off fire easily in our home. And apart from all of this, we should be careful in our home. Whether if you smell of gas leakage, immediately inform to your elders. And while handling with the matchboxes, you should be very careful. Okay? So, with that, we can avoid these fire accidents. And you may have seen fire extinguishers. Do you know what is present in the fire extinguishers? Carbon dioxide gas is present. What is that? Carbon dioxide gas. These fire accidents may happen in different ways, due to gas leakage or due to electrical faults. These are some different situations. If fire accident happens due to electrical faults, in such case, we should not use water to put off fire. Why we should not use water to put off fire? Because water is a conductor of heat. If we are in the contact of water, if that water is contact with the electrical appliances, then we may get shock. So, that is why especially in the electrical fire accidents, we should not use water. So, in such case, to put off the fire, we use carbon dioxide filled fire extinguishers. And not only that, we can use sand also. And you may have seen so many times when you visited the theater, in theater also there fire extinguishers present on either sides, and at the screen there are sand also present in the buckets, you may see that. So, if any fire accident happens, we should not use the water due to fire accident that happened electrical. And now let us see here, if anyone injured, in such case how to give the first aid. What is this first aid? First aid is nothing but it's an immediate help to the injured person. So we give an immediate help to the injured person before doctor arrives that situation. So how this first aid is very important to the injured person? The reason is that this first aid can save the life of injured person and it may prevent the damage. So that's why we should aware of first aid and first aid methods and safety rules in our day to day life to apply. So now let's see the first one, first aid for cuts and scratches. What is that? For cuts and scratches. So how these cuts and scratches happens? For example, if you take the knife, you may try to cut the vegetables to assist your mother. In such case, we may cut our fingers. Yes, so we should be careful with the knife. So in such case, if any cut happens here, if we cut our finger, then in that case how we have to respond? So in such case, immediately first we have to clean that place with the cloth which soaked in antiseptic lotion, and then after we have to clean that wound completely, and then after we have to use a cloth or bandage to cover that wound completely. Why should we cover that wound completely? Because if the cut, then the part is open, it's an open wound. So easily microbes they can enter, that dust also it can enter in our body and it may cause infection. So that's why definitely we should cover that with the bandage. But before that we should be careful. Okay. So even for we can apply for the scratches also. So now not only that, if the bleeding is going on continuously, then in such case we can use tourniquet. What is that? Tourniquet. What is this tourniquet? This tourniquet is that, what is the use of this tourniquet? UET, sorry. Here T is silent, tourniquet. This is a cloth of strip to prevent the flow of blood. Okay. So we can use this tourniquet also to prevent the flowing of blood. And now let's see here the next one, that is if we cut by a dust or dirt object, for example knife, it has a dust, or so in such case it may cause the tetanus also. How it comes this tetanus? If we use any dirt or dust filled knives, if we are using that, unfortunately if we cut our fingers, in that case it may cause an infection that brings tetanus. So in such case we should visit the doctor and we should take anti-tetanus medicine from the doctor to make that less intense. Okay. So now let's see the another situation, that is for nose bleeding. What is that? For nose bleeding. Sometimes children, they use some sharp tools, they play with that, and not only just while playing with that, they may prick or they may keep inside ears, nose, mouth. So in some situations when they keep that inside the nose, it may cause the bleeding. Yes. So in that case how we should respond? First of all, first we have to make the head backside and make him sit upright, straight position. Okay. And then after we have to keep our head in this way backside, and then after press any side of the bleeding. For example, from the both sides bleeding is occur, in that case we have to keep the both sides pressing by the finger, but ask him to take breath through his mouth, and at the same time ask him not to blow his nose. So after that sometime he may feel some comfortable. So in this way we can respond, we can provide the first aid to the person before consulting to the doctor. And this bleeding may be a little bit of bleeding, it's harmless, we need not to worry about this. But the bleeding is heavy, definitely that person should consult a doctor. Okay, so remember this one for nose bleeding. And next for fractures while we are playing in the playground, we may slip, or while we are playing with cricket or any other game, and what happens, it may fall or maybe fracture in our bone. So in such case, how should we respond? We can respond that by just first we have to place the body part without moving, and then after we have to attach the pieces of paper, cardboard, or even you can take the, just we have to place in this way, and then after we have to tie that. The main purpose of this splint, what do we call it as? We call it as splint. So this splint means it gives support to the fractured bone. Okay, so it does not make it move to the bone. So with that he may feel some comfortable. So first we have to provide first aid. In that first aid, we'll take some papers or cardboard, or even you can take the wood also, sticks also you can take. Just what we have to do, we have to make does not move to the bone, it should not move. So in such case, in that way we have to arrange the, and then after we can tie it. Otherwise we can use sling also. What is this sling? Sling is a cloth, a strip of cloth that can be used to hang your hand. For example, in this way, tying your hand, and with that you will not move your hand. So first we have to place that for some time, then only will feel comfortable. So for these fractured bones we have to respond in this way. And then after, let's see here, sprains. What does it mean by sprains? Especially at the joints where muscles are present, tissues are present, they may swell sometimes. So in such case these happen. And how should we respond? In this case we can apply the ice packs here. So when we apply the ice packs at this position, with that he can get some relief. So now let's see for burns. What are those? For burns, and these burns are mainly two types, minor and major. Minor burns means when we enter into the kitchen, you may touch the container or any vessel which is very hot advertently. So in such case these burns may happen. And not only that, for example, if you are trying to take the container from one place to another place, but that container has so hot water, but if you drop that immediately, what would happen? That water may fall on your body. So if it fell on our body, then what happens? Major burns can also happen. And not only that, previously we have seen fire accidents. In the fire accidents also, if any person is injured, in such case major burns we can see for that person. So in both the cases, minor burns, major burns, we follow different first aid methods to give immediate help to the injured person. So now let's take the case of minor burns. How should we respond in case of minor burns? So in the case of minor burns, first sometimes blisters forms on their skin. What is the meaning of blisters? Blisters meaning a small bubble like structure on our skin and filled with serum. And some people or students, they may prick the blisters also. Remember, never prick the blisters. Why? Because if we prick that, it's an open wound, and then microbes can enter through that open wound in our body, and it may cause infection. So that's why we should not prick that blisters. Then what should we do? First, apply water, okay, cool water, otherwise just let flow of water on your skin, okay, and then after take a bandage, and then after just tie it. So with that you can get some relief, and then after immediately consult a doctor. In case of major burns, And even we can apply antiseptic lotion also. So if you apply the antiseptic lotion or cream, antiseptic cream, so with that we will get some relief. But in case of major burns, for example, in fire accident, a person caught fire and he wore synthetic fabric. These synthetic fibers, they catch fire very easily. So in such case, how we can rescue him? Some people, they use water. Immediately they throw water on him and they think that we saved him. But remember, if any person caught fire, we should not throw water on him. The reason is that when he caught fire, his body temperature is very high. In such case, when you throw the water on him, immediately that body temperature reduces. So this body, it does not respond to the immediate change in the temperature. So with that, he may die immediately. So instead of doing in that way, we can rescue him in another way. How? Just by taking the blanket. Okay, just take a thin blanket and just apply him. Okay, and then after ask him to roll on the floor with the blanket. So with that, what happens? We can avoid or we can break the supply of oxygen. So with that, we can put off fire. So this is the way of first aid methods that we can use to rescue the people. So in case of major burns also we have seen. And now sterilized gauze. What is this sterilized gauze? Sterilized gauze means in case of blisters or in case of minor burns, in such case we can use this sterilized gauze. This sterilized gauze is available in medical stores also. In this, cloths are present, strips of cloths, and they are very clean. So we can use that medical purpose instantly every time. Okay, so we can use this. And now in case of chemical burns, what are these chemical burns? Chemical burns means, for example, if some students are in lab, they may be chemical, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. These are concentrated acids. If they fall on our fingers or hands, and these cause chemical burns, the same situation. As they are very highly concentrated, so we should be first of all very careful with these chemicals. Okay, and in that case what we can do? Again, first clean that. Okay, we have to just clean that with an antiseptic lotion, and then after tied with the bandage or with the sterilized gauze. And now let us see for animal bites. So we may mischievous generally. So when you go into the street, there may be dogs. If you are very mischievous, then dogs may bite us. So if they bite us, in such case, immediately what should we do? First of all, we have to clean that place with the soap water, and we should clean that place without, there should not be animal saliva present. So in that way, we have to clean with the soap water. And how this animal saliva is dangerous? Especially in dogs, monkeys, wolves, they spread rabies virus through these are carriers. Especially dog, it spreads the excuse me, it spreads the rabies disease through its saliva. So that's why we should be careful, and we have to clean that place with the soap water. Okay, and then after, immediately we should take an antiseptic lotion, antiseptic cream or antiseptic lotion we should apply there, and then after we should consult a doctor immediately. Okay, and then after, let's see here for snake bites. After seeing this animal bites, and remember, nowadays monkeys are entering in our surroundings. So not only just with the dogs, be careful with monkeys also. And now snake bites. So snake bites are very dangerous because these have poison in their body. So when they bite us, they inject poison in our body, and this poison may kill us. So that's why we should be careful with the snakes. and mostly 97% snakes, they are non-poisonous only. Only just 3% snakes are poisonous, remember. Okay, so we should be careful with these, not only just 3% poisonous snakes, but also with this 97%, because they may also cause small injuries to our body. So that's why. Okay, so now let's see what should we do in such case of snake bite. If snake bites on our leg, then what we have to do immediately, first clean that place, and then after, if bleeding is going, just leave it, just let the blood go out from that place, because that blood may have poison of the snake. So that's why we should allow the bleeding, and then after again take this tourniquet. By taking the tourniquet, tie that place, and we can prevent that flow of blood to the heart, because from that place the blood is completely or mixed with the poisonous, and if that blood flow entire our body, it may reach to the heart and it may be very dangerous with that. So that's why, to prevent the flow of blood, immediately we should use this tourniquet. So when we use this tourniquet, then what happens? It may stop the, or it may prevent the flow of blood. So now after that, what we have to take? We have to take some precautions, and immediately we should consult to the doctor, and then after, doctor will give you an antidote. So with that we'll get relief. If the doctors are not nearby, in such case it may cause death also. So that's why these primary centers addresses you should know, because you can go there immediately without wasting time, or you should have at least one doctor number to consult immediately, to call him immediately to that situation. So remember this one. And now, as I said that we should take some precautions to avoid these snake bites. How? For example, while you are walking in grass or in plants or in wet areas, in those places there may be snakes. So we can wear high boots. When you wear the high boots, it may prevent the snake bitings, because they bite only on our foot, but these foot are protected by the high boots. And not only that, let's see the next for poisoning. What is this poisoning? Poisoning, for example, insecticides, pesticides, and then after maybe kerosene or any others. Some people, when they are interested in the suicides, they may drink these, and even poisons also available outside. And some people they take the sleeping tablets also. So how these could be dangerous? And even expiry dated medicine also dangerous, they become poisonous. So we'll see all these in our next class, as we are running out of the time. Let's recall what we have learned. So they are, first we have seen safety rules, how we should be very careful, and how we can put off fire by using the different methods. And then after, we have seen some first aid methods for cuts and scratches, for nose bleeding, for fractures, for sprains, and for burns, either it is minor burns or major burns, and then after chemical burns. So I'll see you again with another interesting topic in our next session. Till then, bye. Thank you.